Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have a project coming up in the very near future where I have to install metric retaining rings. That's right, metric. In order to do this, I'm going to need a grooving tool to suit the width or the thickness of this retaining ring. And so today we're going to make a grooving tool out of this piece of 3/8 square high-speed steel tool bit. As usual, there's going to be a ton of dialing involved here, and I'm going to cut out the boring parts of the dialing and just leave the exciting parts of the dialing for you. Here's some incredibly crude 3 views of what I plan to do. I want this grooving tool, of course it'll be the width that we require, and I want it to have an equal amount of clearance on both sides. Equal, not as I've drawn it here. The idea there being, when I put this tool in the lathe, I can dial this in 0, and then behind the cutting edge, I'll have equal clearance on both sides. Just to keep it balanced, I think that's important. Here's a side view, and it shows how we've got a clearance angle on the front of the tool. And here's an end view, and it shows we also have clearances on both sides of the little grooving part that's sticking out. I'm going to make this tool in my KOLE B2060 tool and cutter grinder and using my universal work holding fixture. The first thing I'm going to do is grind a clearance angle on the front of this tool bit. Now it came with an angle here that was super rough ground. It isn't square, there's a horrible finish, and it's also too much clearance. That would leave a very fragile cutting edge. So we're going to get the proper amount of clearance on there, and I think for this 5 degrees is going to be about perfect. Time to start dialing. I'm going to want this tool running true this way, so I need a 0 there. I also want it running true this way, so I need a 0 there. This way doesn't matter because that's the clearance angle we're going to put on. On second thought, I've decided there simply is no such thing as fun dialing. So I'm just going to tell you guys what I plan to do, let you know when it's done, and I'll let you know why I'm doing it. I think that's the most important thing. And I'm doing this in the interest of keeping this video moving along. So we're all dialed in the 2 dimensions that I said I wanted to get it dialed. And now I'm going to set the angle. We're not making this 5-degree angle super precision. I'm just going to use the graduations that are on this fixture. They'll be close enough. It really doesn't matter if this is 4.5 degrees, 5.5 degrees. That'll be plenty close. So here you can see the 5-degree clearance that we've set, and you can see that the existing clearance on this tool is quite a bit more, so we're going to be reducing that clearance angle down to the 5 degrees, and that should be just about the right amount of clearance to make it durable yet free cutting. I'm almost ready to go here. I wanted to show you guys this. This dark area here is where the wheel is all plugged up, and it's also basically worn into a flat surface. And so to leave that like that and start grinding, I'd be grinding across that entire surface all at one time, which would cause an awful lot of extra heat and pressure and so on. So what I'm going to do is use this diamond dresser to turn this surface back into an angle so that only the very outside edge of the wheel is actually doing the contacting and cutting. I'm actually probably not going to clean this up all the way down. There's no need for it to be cleaned up all the way down. I think instead I'm going to bring this 5-degree angle probably somewhere in the neighborhood of halfway down. Changed my mind again. You can see by the angle that's in between the part I'm cutting and what was there originally, it's sort of leaving a taper. And that's just showing us how it was out of square to begin with. And that's kind of bugging me. I want the whole thing to be nice. So we are going to bring this 5-degree angle all the way down. Next thing I need to do is determine if I'm happy with this surface finish. And I'm going to use my fingernail for that. And nope, I'm not happy with that. That's rougher than I'd like it to be. So I've started out with this 46 grit aluminum oxide wheel, and I also have a 60 grit, which will give us quite a bit finer finish. So I'm actually going to rough and then finish all these surfaces. It's going to be a lot of wheel changing, and wheel changing is about as exciting as dialing. So I'm just going to explain to you guys what I'm doing, why, and then show you when it's done. I've got my finer wheel on there. I'm just going to minimum skim the surface and then give it a feel and see if I'm happier with the surface finish. And yes, I am. I'm way happier with that. I know you guys can't feel this, but this is a much finer feeling surface, and it'll just be happier. Now I'm going to change back to my coarse wheel, and I'm going to make a setup and start roughing out the next feature. The reason I'm not doing all this work with the fine wheel is because when I have a bunch of material to remove, this thing is going to cause a ton of heat, and it's going to be slow going. And I don't want to overly heat this thing up. And so that's why I'm switching back and forth from coarse to fine wheels. I'm setting up to do this part here now. And just to keep things a little simpler as far as my setups go, I'm going to do this with the tool upside down. And I'll show you why once we get sort of more set up. I thought I'd mention that when I'm making a new setup like this, I don't dial everything all the way in right off the hop. What I do is I get the thing loosely, roughly where I think it should be. I make sure I don't have any clearance issues, and then I dial it in. And that just saves an awful lot of time. It is frustrating to dial something in perfectly and then find out you can't get it where it needs to be, and then you have to redo the whole thing anyways. Now that I know I'm close here, I'm going to dial this in this way, get it running 0, and dial it in this way and get it running 0. And then once I know where I'm starting from, I can make my slight adjustments to give myself the 2 angles that we're going to be putting on here. I mentioned before that I want the angles on the 2 sides of this thing to match each other pretty much perfectly. And so just in order to do that, I've set my table up so it has exactly a 1/4 inch of travel. And then I'll do all my dialing within that 1/4 inch distance, and that way I can ensure the 2 sides are the same as each other. I've got this tool in upside down now, and you can see that here with this clearance angle is now essentially going the wrong way. And I'm getting ready to dial in my clearance both up and down and back and forth. But first I wanted to point out that just by eye, I've set the height of my wheel to somewhat approximately match this 5-degree angle. And that way this thing it'll look more uniform when it's done. Also, by doing this, I don't run the risk of leaving a big heel at the back underside of this thing that could interfere with my cut. I'm setting a 0 on my height, and the reason is I am going to have to move this head up and down a whole bunch while dialing, and by having a 0 here, I can get back to the height I want to be at pretty quickly and easily. This grooving tool is going to finish up by being 40 thousandths wide, or pretty much exactly 1 millimeter, and which is quite small. And I don't want to put an excessive amount of clearance on the side of this, because at the back of it I'd have nothing left. So what I've decided to do is, over this 1/4 inch distance, I've dialed in 5 thou of taper. I think that gives me the best combination of adequate clearance but still maintains adequate strength. So at the back it'll be 30 thou, and at the cutting edge it'll be 40 thou. I'm all dialed in for this next feature that we're grinding here, and so over this 1/4 inch I have 5 thou relief lengthwise, and then using my vertical hand wheel, I've put some marker on here so that you guys can see what's happening. And what we're expecting to see now is we should hit for the very first around here, and then this will become a line that slowly travels up to this corner, which is our cutting edge. Don't forget this thing is upside down right now. And because we're starting here and gradually working our way here, that'll show that we have relief both in the lengthwise direction and in the vertical direction. I'm rough down now. I've got 13 thou left on the at the cutting edge, 13 thou left to go. So what I'm going to do, first I want to clean this up. I want to make that just look nicer. So I'm going to come in one last time, except I'm going to come in just a shade farther by turning this screw out some. And then I'm going to wind my crossfeed handle out nice and slow, and it should turn this kind of blotchy surface here into a nice, even cleaned up surface. Well, that didn't clean up all the way, so I'm going to take another crack at that. I did set a 0, so I'm just going to come back to my 0. Further and try it again. I'm just going to put my finer wheel on now and give this first side a nice finish, as nice a finish as I'm able to, and then we're going to make a setup to do the other side. It's going to have the exact same 2 clearance angles as the first side. Because this new wheel is a different diameter than the last wheel I had on here, I want to get this wheel coming all the way to the back. But what I don't want to do is come smoking into the back and leave a big mark in there. That would just look bad. So I'm starting with the motor off, and I'm just creeping in there, and I'm going to touch off by sound and by feel. And then once we've decided we're happy with that, then we can get the motor running and actually do some grinding. There, I can hear it just wanting to touch, so I'm going to call that good. Now I'm just going to touch off on this back surface and give it a minimum skim. You're seeing those sparks because this wheel has a sharper radius on the edge than the last wheel did. On to the last setup now. I'm going to recreate those same clearance angles, but on the back side of the tool. And so for that, I will need to, now that the tool's not upside down anymore, I'll need to rock this fixture this way so that I hit the bottom before the top. And as far as the angle in the opposite direction, I'm probably going to be okay with it the way it is. We'll see. I've set the same 1/4 inch travel on my table. So now we can begin dialing in the actual clearance angles that we're going to want. I'm sitting here with the dial right at the very tip of my cutting edge, and what we're going to see is as I come back with the dial, that number is going to go plus. That's showing the clearance that we're going to grind into there. And as I come down with the dial, it's also going to go plus. And that's also showing the clearance that we're putting in there. Never one to take my own advice. I went ahead and dialed the heck out of all this before double checking that I could get my wheel to an appropriate height. And I can't. My wheel is all the way down, and you know before we wanted to match this angle roughly to what the wheel was doing, which means I need to be more like up here on my wheel, which I can't reach. But I've got a quick easy fix for that.
What's your quick easy fix?
Just going to shim it up with another high-speed steel tool bit. All my clearance angles will remain the same. This will just give me some more height to work with. So now I'm going to touch off, and it's going to hit at the back bottom corner on the far side first, and then again a line of cleanup is going to work its way up to the cutting edge. Once again, I put some marker on here so that you can see the progression of the clearance angles working their way towards the front. A little less than 12 thousandths of an inch to go. Now that I know that, I'm going to set a 0, and then we're going to creep our way up to that nice and slow. This wheel is going to cause more heat, and I don't want to turn this nice little tool bit into a big purple mess. Here's my retaining clip. It's at about 38 thousandths of an inch. It actually varies a bit as you go around. I got checking this more carefully. See there, it's less than 37 thou. But I don't want to be tight at the high spots on this. So although I said I was going to 40 thou, I've just decided not to be overly greedy with my tolerances, and I left this at 41 thousandths of an inch. I've got a tiny bit of heat on here. You can see, and it's sort of inevitable because we removed a lot of material and it ended up being very thin. So it is going to heat up, and that's no problem. We can knock that off with our super fine stainless wire wheel. But what I wanted to show you guys was the clearance that we've put on here. So if you recall, we gave it 5 thou per side of clearance back in this direction, and another 5 thou per side in clearance in this direction. And these, of course, aren't super accurate, but if we measure at the tip, we're showing right around the 40 thou that we were shooting for. Again, not the most accurate tool in the world. And what we should expect to see is that this corner is 20 thou smaller, because we've got 5 thou per side, that's 10 thou, plus another 5 thou per side on the vertical, so a total of 20 thou. So this should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 thou back here. And it's pretty darn close. Again, not the most accurate tool I'm holding in my hand, but that's proving to me that we do have clearance in the direction we want it, and that we were able to put on the amount of clearance that we wanted. And so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to clean it up here, and then we'll take a look at the finished product. Take that marker off of there. Just heat off of here, super gently. It may have to stay. Yeah, I'm not going to force it. I'm going to leave that alone. So I've got this all cleaned up. Thought we could take a look at it here. There's still a bit of signs of heat there, and I didn't want to be super aggressive with my wire wheeling, so I'm just going to deal with that. I'm going to call that fine. Turned out pretty decent, I think, and here it is next to the retaining ring that it's going to cut a groove for. And it's pretty hard to see, I imagine, but the grooving tool is about 3 to 4 thou wider than the ring. So the ring should fit nicely into the groove that this creates, but not be sloppy in there. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys and gals. I hope you enjoyed. Huge thank you to all our Patreon members. We'll see you guys in the next one.